What the real people? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? It's in the middle of the night right now. 3 o'clock, and I decided that I think it was time to do a story time and talk about the last relationship that I had, because I don't think I've talked about that yet. And I didn't really want to talk about it because I didn't really want to put this nigga on blast like that, but it's to the point where I don't care no more. Because I know my story. I know what's going on with these readings. And it's like, excuse me, I'm over here eating some chocolate and shit. But, I don't know, people. It's like I care, but I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Let me stop munching and get to talking. So, the last relationship I was in, besides the last couple of ones, all right, let's put it away. The last 3 relationships I was in were kind of, I don't know, kind of some shit. But I already spoke about um the other ones, I believe. I need to backtrack on my videos to see what I've talked about and what I haven't talked about. But this relationship that I'm talking about now is just the last one I was in, like literally my last relationship I was in. And it was really like the only relationship that I was in where I've known this person, literally around this person, still connected to this person for a long time. Still currently, well, I don't know, maybe as of today, it might be, I don't know, the last time I see him. At this point, I really don't know at this point because I know my story. It's like I want to cry, but I don't want to cry. And it's not crying because of him, because I feel like I lost him. No, it's just because I'm just tired. And it's like I really am telling him this stuff because I'm trying to help him. Because I know my story. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm sitting here going in the house going nuts for real, which is highly likely. Like, it's not, as I doubt that, it's not that I doubt that, it's doubts. There's no doubt that in my mind that I am not going insane. Let's put it this way. I ain't no bitch going crazy in here. My mind is too focused on my business and building for me to sit here and snap and go crazy. Okay? Let's just put that out in the air. Like, I'm a little bit too focused on building and planting my seeds and making sure that I leave my son something so he ain't never got to work a day in his life, only if he fucking want to. Okay? So, Ain't no bitch over here snapping and going insane just all of a sudden. Don't let nobody fool you by sitting there talking about this bitch is delusional. She's going and saying, no, I am not. I know my fucking story, and I know motherfucking spell work in the world is gonna sit here and make me think that I'm going crazy and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm delusional because I am not. Okay? For a year and a half, before I even get into this last relationship, for a year and a half, I've been guided to these tarot readings that have basically been talking about my life. Okay? And talking about shit that have been done in the dark, behind my back and shit like that. But most of the videos that I resonate with are being bullied and harassed in a home and shit like that. Domestic violence relationship I was in, child being child being removed from home by CPS and shit like that, identity theft and mail theft. When I'm hearing all these stories, I resonate with all these things. Like, this is things that's happened to me. Okay, so like I said, I know my story. I know what has happened in my life. So as I'm watching and listening to these readings, I find it interesting that a lot of shit has been done. Especially besides the shit that I've been going through, besides the shit of people in my past doing shit, there's one particular story that's on repeat in the readings. And it's about a relationship somebody that you was in a relationship with, somebody that I was in a relationship with for a long time, for like 9 to 10 years, almost about. And blah. Some twin flame journey, soulmate thing, right? So I'm like, okay, I was in a relationship with somebody. I'm connected to somebody for 10, 20, 12 years, 14 years or so. This person cheated on me. This person left me for somebody he had a baby with and shit like that. Yeah, I resonate with all this. I know my story. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about it because, well, I roll a blunt. I'm going to talk about my story. So my last relationship, when I met this dude, I was in a fucked up situation. Like I said in one of our previous videos, there was a relationship that I was in with a Scorpio male in a domestic violence relationship. And he abused me and he hurt my son and ended up it was just a whole commotion of shit. If I haven't talked about it, then I'll talk about it in another video, but we're not going to talk about it in this one. But anyway, one of the prior relationships that I was in I was in a domestic violence relationship, which caused the removal of my child, which caused people to look at me like I was a neglectful parent, which caused people to look at me like if I was the one that abused my son and all this shit, right? Which, and I was not. I didn't hurt my son. I didn't do anything to my child. But anyway, that's a different story. So anyway, I was going through all this when I met the guy that was in the last relationship with. I'm just gonna call this person JW, right? So when I was in a relationship with JW, I was going through some real serious shit. Like I was literally going through probation. I was trying to not be tossed in jail. I was literally, don't scratch my sofa, you cats. I was literally going through criminal and family court at the same time. I was in probation, getting pissed and every week or every other 2 weeks or some shit. No, you're not gonna go crazy in the middle of the night. No. I was going through some shit. I was trying to get my rights. I was trying to get my son to get my son back. I was trying to do everything that these people were telling me to do. Go to this program, go to that program, go to this, go to that, do this, do that. This is what I was dealing with in the midst of Yeah, that. And then when he met me, when I met this dude, I was not in the right place. Like I was literally like I was homeless when I met him. Like I was house hopping. When I first met him, I wasn't homeless at the time. I was staying in my homegirl's house, helping her with her son. May she rest in peace. Her name was Sandra. She passed away. But at the time she had a son, and I was helping her with her son. He had to be like 3, 4 years old, 5. He wasn't in school yet, or he was in kindergarten or some shit like that, or pre-K or some shit like that. He was young. I was helping her. Anyway, besides the point, that's when I actually met him. I actually met him online. I met him online. This is how I actually met dude. I met him through the internet, online, through one of those dating sites and shit. And shit, who knew me meeting somebody I would be in a relationship with this, or know this person for such a long time. But anyway, so yeah, that's how I met him. I met him online. And when I first met him, it was I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to get. I played hard to get. Not that I played hard to get, but like I was going through a lot of problems. And in the back of my mind, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, ain't no nigga gonna really want to fuck with me or deal with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going through all this crazy shit. Like I was going through some crazy shit in my life. You know what I'm saying? And so I had walls up. I'm not gonna lie. I had big walls up in the beginning when I first met him. You know, in the beginning when I first met him, it was cool. He used to come around. We used to chill. We used to smoke. I used to stay at my mother's house. And out of respect for my mother, like he wouldn't come inside because my mother didn't want nobody in the house. And she was in the military, so she was away. And it was my grandmother in the house. Grandmother's watching the house with me and my son. Well, my grandmother was watching my son, and I was there helping. And my son had already been taken removed from me already. So he's been living with my mother. My son's been living with my mother for the past 17 years. My son is 17. So anyway, so yeah, in the beginning he used to come around, we used to chill, we used to smoke, we used to sit in front of my mother's house and chill, politic, go to White Castle. We used to just chill, talk and shit, get to know each other. There was never any sex involved because there was nowhere to have sex. We was always chilling outside. So, and sometimes in the winter, he would come in the winter time. We would freeze our ass, sit outside and smoke and shit. Yeah. But anyway. So that's just, the beginnings of shit, how I met him. And then we lost contact with each other for like a year. Like he was supposed to do me a favor, right? Oh, he was supposed to bring me something that he said he was gonna do for me. And then I don't know what happened. I lost contact with him after that, and it was like that was all she wrote. I never heard from him again until like a year later. But a year later, a year later, when when he returned back, I was in a fucked up situation. I was homeless. I was staying in this lady's house that I didn't even know who the hell she was. But she let me stay in her house, and I think I was staying there for free. I was supposed to put her information on the welfare case so she could get rent. But there was something that she told me to hold off on it, not to do it. And I think I was living in that lady's house literally for free for like 2 months or 3 months or something like that. It wasn't long, but for like 2 or 3 months, I was living in some lady's house. Very nice lady, Angela or something. Her name was. She was a nice lady. God bless her. I was staying in her house for free for 2-3 months in a room that she had. That was her daughters and her son, her daughter and her grandchild room. And but then I don't know what happened. She told me that her daughter and her grandchild was coming back, so I had to move. I had to leave. So then I don't know what happened after that. I think that's when no, be a little bit before that. I bumped into him a little bit before that because I was in a shelter. I remember I was in this one shelter. It was supposed to be like a reunification shelter that helps you get reunified with your child and shit. But that fucking shelter treated me like fucking crap. That's another thing. But anyway, I'll tell you. Anyway, ooh, chilly. I've been through some shit, people. But anyway, um, hmm. I was in a shelter when I got back in contact with him because I remember there was one time that he came. He used to come through a few times, and he would bring me some money. He would bring me shit. Sometimes he would come and split. Like he would have like a little bit of money. He'll give me split his shit. Like he'll have $20. He'll give me. He'll come all the way to where I was at just to give me half of his 20. I'm sorry, just thinking about shit. But anyway, so there was a little situation where like I ended up having to leave that shelter and I end up back in the motherfucking street, and me and my mother, I was like, it's like my mother had room for me. But my mother wouldn't let me stay there with her. So yeah. So there was a point that I end up in this lady's house. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if it was before the shelter or after the shelter, but it don't even matter. Either way, and it was after because I remember it when I was living in that shelter. He was like, if I ever needed help, that I could call on him, and I did need help at that time, but I didn't call on him until I ended up in that lady's house and I couldn't stay in there no more. And it was like it was like maybe like 4 or 5 months later that I reached out to him and I said, well, you said if I ever needed your help, right? So that's how that's how we ended up actually being together and to be, because he ended up really helping me. We weren't really in a relationship or anything. We were friends. We were just people getting to know each other, actually. Dating. We were dating. We didn't have any sex. We didn't even have sex yet. Okay. So he came to pick me up and get me. And I tell you, I swear to God, when he came, I cried, I think. I cried and I told him that he was my knight in shining armor, that he saved me. I remember that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm crying a little bit because this relationship, I really did love this guy. I mean, I do love him, but I love myself more. So this relationship hurt me more than the nigga that hurt my son and me. Than the domestic violence relationship. This one broke my heart. Both of them. Those relationships together. Those two right there were the worst relationships that I could say that I've ever been in. That made me feel like shit. And I'm not even gonna say he made me feel worse because the other one that was in a domestic violence relationship, that nigga was beating on me. So beating on me, talking about I love you. The fuck? But anyway, that's not even. We're not even talking about that nigga. We're talking about my last relationship, and that definitely was not my last relationship. But this last one, man, it did hurt me. And it's like he's not a bad person. He's actually a good guy, but it's like I don't. Anyway, I guess it was due to all the spell work, and it's like it's hard for me to believe sometimes. Like this is all spell work, you know, that somebody just do spell work on my life, and it's been all spell work, and it's like yeah, I could believe it, but he can't wrap his head around it. So anyway, let me not deter from the story. So anyway, so he ended up coming to help me and saving me out of that situation because my mother was not gonna let me stay in her house. Like I even called her and asked her, and yeah, so I was gonna end up being homeless again in the street, and and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even want to call him. I really didn't want to depend on any guy. I didn't even want to stay with any guy. Like, y'all really don't understand what I was putting myself out there. I could have been raped. I could have been kidnapped. I could have been sex trafficked because I was putting myself on the internet, out there on the internet looking for a place to stay. And there was men that was hitting me up, and I was like, nope, I'm not staying with no man. I'm not staying with no man. Nope, 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 nope. Like, yeah, no, I wasn't even gonna sell myself. Hell no, I was not. That was not even an option. And I was even bartering. I was like, I'll clean your house. I cook. Like I was like, I'll be a maid because I didn't have a job at the moment. So I was struggling. It was hard for me to get a job, find a job. I was going through some shit. So he came, he helped me, and then I we end up at that time he was staying in a room. He was staying in a room, and hmm, maybe he was married, maybe he was still with her, and I didn't even know. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm wrapping my head around things and really thinking about it, maybe he was staying with her. Maybe he was still with her the entire time I was staying with him in the room. I don't know. But anyway, he ended up there was a room that he was renting and I was staying there. But during that time in the room, I mean that's when we actually started having sex and shit. Even then I was still hesitant to have sex with him. But that's when we actually started having sex because I was in the room with him and he talked about that he sleep naked. I'm like, anyway, nigga. That he gave me that shit where he sleeps naked, he don't sleep with clothes. I'm like, whatever. I think that was just a lie. Now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that was the line, the G line. I sleep naked type shit, like nigga. Anyway, but yeah, that's when we started getting it on and shit. But there was just something just not right because you know what I'm saying, like I said, I was going through a lot of problems and shit, so I was always in the room. The only time I left the room again was when I had my appointments and I had to do shit and whatever. I went to go see my son and blah blah blah, whatever. So whatever I had to do, shit is But I was in the room most of the time, so he was always out and about. I was always waiting for him to come back to the room. So who knows? He could have been still with his baby moms, and I wouldn't have known. Who knows what he was doing in the street? Who knows how many bitches he was talking to? I probably wasn't the only one. Who knows? I don't know. I was in my own world, going through my own shit, dealing with my own problems. I was just happy that I had a fucking roof over my head. But during that time, there was a moment where he went on. You know, what I'm saying, you know, like we was, you know, really getting into each other. Really, we was having sex a lot and shit, and then shit started happening where we started having unprotected sex, and the unprotected sex was we just started having unprotected sex. It started ended up having where we was having protected sex, then we were having unprotected sex. So I was like, all right, now we're having unprotected sex, my nigga. What's up? What is it? What am I to you? Because now you fucking me without a condom. So what's the deal? And he would never really answer that question. He will always keep me on the back burner. And then there was this one time that he was like that he had to go on vacation with his baby moms. I was like, oh yeah. And that I couldn't stay, that I was that he was going on a vacation with his baby moms, and that I had to find somewhere to go until he came back. And that right there told me, like, that right there was like, what am I to you? What are we doing? Because you going on vacation. He sure was trying to beat me in my head that it's just he's just going on vacation with his baby mom. That is nothing. Like, yeah, nigga, who you lying to? So that's when shit started. Whatever. That's when I started questioning him. Like, what's the deal? What's going on? Cause like I don't know. All I know is that when he came back from vacation, all I know is that a few weeks later, I end up here where I am at now. And this is an apartment where he was staying with her, or where she was living with her, right? So maybe they was together. Maybe he left her at that moment. Maybe he broke up with her. I don't know. All I know is that he ended up taking this apartment because this was his apartment. He ended up taking his apartment back because it was his from the get go. He ended up taking his apartment back, and she had to move out, or she moved out, but she didn't move too fucking far, but down the block at that time because she no longer lives down this block anymore. But at that time, in the beginning when I met him, this was his apartment from before. He moved her in here with whatever. She moved in here with him. So I guess he ended up making a choice to be with me, and she had to go. She moved, but to the building that was down the block. And during that time, I didn't really know how close she was. Like, I really did not know how close she was until one day this bitch called my name while she was sitting outside in the car with these niggas outside on the corner. So for me to tell my man at the time to call her bitch, she lucky. The girl, because I'm going to call her girl. The girl is lucky that I have respect for myself, and for him that I didn't run across the street and drag her off the fucking hood of the car that she was sitting on in front of the niggas that she was sitting with, because a bitch would have showed her how gangster I was. The fact that she thought she could fucking talk to me in the fucking street and tell me to leave a message to him. Bitch, you got a number, call him your damn self. But she wanted to be cute. She lucky that back then I didn't fuck her up. Because maybe if I would have fucked her up back then she wouldn't have had the nerve to do what she's doing. Because the bitch would have put in check. The bitch would have been put in check and her place a long time ago. There have been many opportunities that I could have smacked his baby moms for being disrespectful. But I didn't because I'm a real woman. But anyway, so I'm just deterring off the damn whole story. But so yeah, we end up coming here, and then when I tell you the chick left the apartment like a pig, because she probably really is a pig, but she left this apartment in such a pigsty because she knew I was coming over here. It's not even funny. She left it a mess. Okay. When I tell you a mess, she left it like she lives like a pig, unless she really lives like that, which I'm really starting to think she really lives like a slob. From the way she left this apartment, there's no way that they left this apartment the way it was on purpose, all of it. Maybe some shit might have been left on purpose, but nah, not when you find an old plates and forks and spoons underneath dressers and shit. Let me tell you, yeah, that bitch was a pig. So anyway, but I cleaned it up, right? Because I'm living here by myself. He didn't help me. Let me tell you something. When I tell you something, that I hooked this apartment up this entire time myself, he did not help me clean. Not one thing. He never helped me clean shit. Getting this man to help me clean this apartment, man, was a fight. Let me tell you. It was a fight. I'm like, yeah, never mind. Let me just be quiet. I'm here. I don't pay no rent. Let me just clean and shut up. Right? So I just left shit at that sometimes. I'll be like, you know what? Let me just suck shit up, because you know what? I've been living here being blessed. So what? That's the least that I could do. Right? Right. Because it was always an argument. And I was tired of arguing over asking somebody to help me fucking clean their own apartment. So yeah, I started giving up on that. But yeah, there was a lot of shit that we went through. We went through a lot of fights. In the beginning, it was cool a little bit, but it didn't last too long. Because the nigga always kept me alone. I was always by myself. In the beginning, I'm telling you, in the beginning, I was always by myself. And in the beginning, as soon as, before like I even was here for like a month or two, I started fucking asking him what was this, what we were doing, because we were in a relationship. There was no relationship. We didn't establish anything. You know what I'm saying? And I sat down and I had a serious conversation with him. I told him that I had an ex-boyfriend that was crazy, that thinks that I'm the one. I literally, because the last person that I was with before him, this guy was a little crazy. He was saying that I was the one. He was telling me that I was the one. This nigga cut my hair to do spell work on me. And he was saying that I was the one and all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, no. This nigga was a little psycho. Like a narcissist. Like, you know what I'm saying? You would come in the middle of the night, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That was his time. With, you know what I'm saying? And it was always a booty call type shit. It was never like you didn't come to fucking court me or date me, get to know me. There was just some ass shit. So yeah, that was that situation before my last situation. But the nigga was crazy. Like, the nigga had me believing that he was psychotic, that that he was gonna hurt himself and all this shit. Like, it was just a lot of shit. And I told this to my last relationship, to JW, we're gonna call him. Like I said, I told this to JW. I was real. Sometimes you can't keep it real with people because they just can't handle the truth. But I was very honest about this. I was like, yeah, I have an ex-boyfriend that I think is a little crazy. Yeah, he put me through a lot of shit. He did this, he did that, that. He thinks I'm the one, blah, 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 blah. I told him all this. I told him that I had a crazy ex-boyfriend, I told him this. He didn't believe me. So he didn't believe me. And then and then I was asking him, I was like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I told him that I could not be hurt again because of what I was going through. Because, like I said, when I met him, I was going through the whole court thing with my son, the whole thing because of the boyfriend prior to the last boyfriend. Excuse me. So, like I said, I was going through some shit. So I was like, I let him know. I was like, listen, with what I told him, I broke it down. I was like, listen, with everything I'm going through and everything I'm dealing with, I cannot afford to be hurt or disappointed. I got a lot that I'm going through mentally. Like, I was as honest as I can be. And it's like, you be honest with people. It's like they take advantage of you. And I swear to God, I feel like he took advantage. I really started to feel like he really took advantage of me, of my vulnerability. I don't know. Maybe he did and maybe he didn't. But sometimes it starts to feel that way because it's like I told you I was going through shit. You seen what I was going through when it comes to my child. You seen how I was depressed and down and out. I was like literally numb. Like out of people, when I tell you I was out of it when it came to my whole son situation, I was out of it. It was like I was just floating. I swear to God, I was just floating. I didn't want to, I was so, I don't even want to think about it either, but I was not right in my mind at that moment when I was going through the whole shit with my son in the beginning of everything. I was like so depressed. I was so fucked up, man. Like, I'm so proud of myself now that I come to think about it, compared from the way I was back then to now. Like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, I want to sit here and cry for myself because y'all really don't understand. I was in a fucked up place, real bad. I really was. Whether it's spell work or not, I don't even give a fuck. I was in a bad place. Whether spell work was put on me or not, I was. And I'm proud of myself that even through the spell work, I got out of whatever the fuck I got out of. And I'm not in that mind frame anymore, or that state of mind, or I don't think those thoughts anymore. You know what I'm saying? The way I used to think about myself back then, and these crazy, 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 crazy thoughts, man. And I'm proud of myself because I'm not there. And I allowed people to put me there. People controlled me, my emotions, and I don't let nobody control my emotions anymore. I don't give a fuck how people view me. Even if a person views me as negative or the bad guy, I don't give a fuck. I'm done with people projecting their bullshit. I'm done with people doubting me and not believing me. So I don't give a fuck anymore. That's how I am right now. But anyway, back to the story. So in this relationship, there was a lot of ups and downs. We did a lot of arguing. Look at it. So we had a lot of fun. We were into a lot of things we were into. There's a lot of things that we were connected with, and then there's a lot of things we did. And like, we are opposite people, but we have a lot of things in common. But we're very opposite. Like, we're the opposite, and we're the same sign. But I'm a Cancer. He's a Cancer, but he's a June Cancer, and I'm a July Cancer. And I believe his moon sign is a Scorpio, if I'm not mistaken, but that's as far as I know from him. That he's a Cancer sun and a Scorpio moon. Right? So these readings, I know what they're talking about when they talk about Cancer Scorpio, because it could either be talking about is him or is the other Cancer or the Scorpio man and that I dated. Right? Which I was in a domestic violence relationship with. But I only was with this dude for 2 years. And then that's it. So that's not him. That's not the relationship that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? 4004, as I said that. So I know what relationship they're talking about when they're talking about in these stories. It's like, I've only been with one person for a long time. It was like, it's only you. It's you. He told me one time that he feels like he's seen me before or he met me before or some shit like that. Every time I say that, he always corrects me. Whatever it is, he says some shit that he's seen me before or some shit like that. I feel like he knows me or some shit like that. He said one time to me. I love, maybe you see me when I was young on the bus or something with my grandmother. You know, because if he is this twin flame, if he is this person, then of course we came across each other's paths. You know what I'm saying? All right. So if he's the person that's supposed to be 14, 41, 41, 14, I say that if he's the one that was supposed to be, if he's this twin flame or soulmate or whoever, then of course he's seen me before. I've came across his path before, of course. It says in the story, you've came across your twin flame or your whatever before, or they're in your life. I'm like, well, let's see who the fuck is in my life. He's the only one I've been in a relationship with for a long time. He said that he's seen me before, so that's coming across my path. Maybe, maybe he noticed me, but I didn't notice him. You know. He is older than me by like 5, 6, 7 years or something like that. 5 years, 6 years. Excuse me. So we had a lot of problems, but a lot of good times, a lot of fights. Some shits have gotten physical. We've actually gotten to some physical fights as well. It's gotten a little domestic violence up in here. I ain't even gonna lie about that. Fuck it. You know. But there was one time that I was in a fucked up situation, really bad. And I was very suicidal in my mind back in the day. I was like, I didn't care about shit. Like I was going through shit with him. He was putting me through shit. Like he was adding shit on my shit. And then I was going through this whole ACS and court shit. And then I was going through shit with my mother. I was also going through problems with my mother. So I was in a situation where fuck it, I wanted to commit suicide. It almost happened too. It really did. And then I had like a reality check. And I was like, why? Why? I'm not doing nothing. I had to really sit there and think about, I really had to sit there and think, like, why am I allowing these people to fucking destroy my life? Why? Why these people? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. If they don't love me, fuck it. I love myself. I kept telling myself, I'm gonna be fucking okay. Fuck these people. They don't want me in their life. Fuck them. If they don't have no faith in me, fuck them. I kept telling them, fuck it. Fuck them. That's what I kept telling myself. Fuck these people. And I stopped allowing these people to run my life. I stopped shedding tears for these people. Because it's like, I'm not doing nothing. I know my worth. I'm going through a whole hell of a lot of shit, and this man wanted me to be there for him when I was going through the losing the rights to my son. I was going through mad shit, almost thrown in jail. My rights being taken away. Having to visit my son with visitations, with somebody watching me. I was going through mad shit. My firstborn child, my first child ever, my only child that I ever have. And this is the experience I'm going through. And this man couldn't understand that I could not be there for him emotionally. I needed somebody there for me emotionally. He wanted me to be there for him for emotionally. So we both going through pain. I need him, he needs me, and we're just not being there. But then again, I was showing him more care and concern than what he was showing me. I would ask him what was wrong. I would ask him if there's anything wrong with him. He would never confide in me. He would keep shit from me. He was always sneaky. I was the one that was always outspoken and asking what was wrong, caring, concern, and it's like, got nothing. And you make a woman feel like that, you make a woman feel out important, like she's worth shit. Like, what the fuck, what you with me for? And then he was never around. I was always by myself. He was not one never to really check up on me. Like, he would leave me here alone for hours, wouldn't check up on me. Hey, how you doing? You good? You chilling? No, like nothing. It was never none of that. That's probably because he was laid up with his baby moms. That's why. Let's just be real about that. He was down the block with his baby moms while he had me in the other crib. That's what was going on. That's the reality of it. And everybody in this area knew. This is the story that's going on. That I'm looked at as the home wrecker that's breaking up a family. Says who? I'm the one that was lied to, if that's the case. When I tell you a lot of arguments, a lot of fights, and then you know why there was a lot of arguments, a lot of fights? Because I would check him because I knew he was doing something and I would pull his card and he would deny it and then switch the flip on me and try to tell me that I'm the one that's cheating and I'm the one that's doing this. And I'm like, my nigga, I'm sitting here dealing with court, trying to stay out of jail, trying to get my son back. Who the fuck got time to fuck around with another dude? Please explain to me where the fuck I got time to fuck with anybody else. When I was sitting here going to court, trying to get my son back, going through probation, I'm depressed. I'm sitting here, I was depressed and suicidal at that time. Who the fuck was I talking to? What nigga was I cheating with? This is what he would tell me. This is what I was dealing with. While I'm sitting here trying to fight for my son back. This is what this dude was putting me through. Accusing me of being the cheater and cheating and sleeping around and doing sneaky shit. That's because he was the one that was doing it. I had to put two and two together. And like, wait, he's accusing me a little bit too much. Why? Because you're guilty. You're doing something wrong. You're the guilty one. And I would pull his card every time I felt there was something wrong. He would fight me and accuse me and try to flip the switch and accuse me. And at that time, he used to make me doubt my intuition. I knew I was intuitive. I knew my gut feeling. I knew I was always right. And he would make me doubt myself. He would make me doubt my intuition, my feelings. When I knew I was right, he would fight with me and accuse me and flip the switch on me and make me the bad guy. I was the wrong one doing it. It was me. And the whole time it was him. Trying to make me feel bad. Making me beg him not to leave, to stay with me. I used to do these things. Like, how pathetic. That was so pathetic. Like, it's a lesson learned. Ladies, don't ever do that in your life. Like, a man want to walk out the door, bye, let him go. Don't ever stop a man or beg a man to stay with you. Because this is what the fuck I did. Because I was so in a fucked up situation. Like, you understand? I was in a fucked up situation going through this shit with my son that I felt like I needed him. Like, I could not survive without this man. Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. This is so silly. The silly things we us stupid bitches do sometimes when we in love and we in fucked up, when we not right in our head. The silly things that we do. Ooh, baby. But yeah, like I was on some like, oh my goodness, don't leave me, please type of shit. Like I'm laughing about it now because it's funny. Like, because that was so pathetic. Yo, shit is hilarious. I'm just thinking of the shit, of the things and that went on in this house, yo, when we used to fight. Like, I used to really stop him from going out the door. Like, yo. Oh God, man. I was so fucked up mentally back then. It's not even funny. Who I'm so glad that that is not me anymore. Like that was a fucked up person. That was somebody that was going through some hard times, man. That was somebody that was going through some hard times and had nobody there to help her. 51, 15, as I said that. I ain't have nobody. When I tell you I ain't have nobody there to help me, I didn't have nobody. I therapied myself. I picked myself back up. Whatever effort he tried, I'm not gonna say he didn't try and put an effort because he did, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't. It was just. It was when it's convenient for him. Everything is always when it's convenient for him. That's my time I get when it's a convenience for him. So yeah, there's just a lot of shit, a lot of broken promises. And then I felt like I was in competition with his children. So I was like, yeah, no.